All right, today we're going to install the new AMP Research BedXTender HD. Most applications are going to be very similar in their installation. We're going to need a Phillips screwdriver, a Torx T25 driver, a center punch, some masking tape, and a power drill with a 9/64 drill bit. We're going to start by taking it out of the box, which we've already done here. Make sure you remove your 7-inch measuring tool from the packaging. It's perforated and it'll pop right out, and this gives you a reference to make your tape marks on the center tubes. We're going to take our 3 center tubes and we're going to mark them with a 7-inch offset with a piece of masking tape. Now that we've marked the 7-inch standoff on each of the center tubes, you can see here it's 7 inches from each end, and we marked them all on the same side of the tubes. We're done with our 7-inch measuring tool, and we're going to start by assembling the center tubes to the side tubes. And we're going to insert the side tube just a few inches. Now you don't have to go all the way to the tape edge. That's not what this tape is for. We're going to use this tape marker a little bit later for alignment. So just to start, we're going to insert all the tubes into one side. Try to align the edges so that they have about equal standoff to start. It'll make things a little bit easier later. And now we're going to take one of our bumper upright clamshell assemblies and pay special close attention to these ribs on the inside and kind of feel them with your hand. You can feel that 3 of these ribs are a little bit smaller and are meant to clamp on this small tube. 6 of these ribs are a little bit larger and they're meant to clamp onto the big tube. And you want that edge right there to seat right up against this edge. Sometimes it's easy to lay the BedXTender down in this way to make sure that everything kind of seats together, and you can see to make sure that the tubes fit in properly to the recesses. We're going to squeeze this clamshell assembly together by hand. 6 of the T25 Torx screws. So you want to start with one center one and then go to the outer edge and then go to the other outer edge hole. Okay, and then we're going to finish off the other 3 holes. Get them about 80% of the way in. Okay, now that we have half of the BedXTender together, we're going to install the other half. If you're having trouble sliding these tubes together, just squirt a little bit of soapy water and it should help them slide together a lot easier. And same as the other side, just get kind of an even gap to start. You know, sometimes you can just use your hand, like 4-finger gap, and just make sure it's fairly even at this point. In the back of our instructions, we have 2 drill templates for installing the brackets on your truck, one for small, medium trucks and one for large trucks. Since this is a Toyota Tacoma, we're going to use the small drill template. You can see there's lines if you have a bed liner or not. Since this is a Tacoma, there's no bed liner. And we're going to go ahead and just take a piece of tape and align our drill template. Because there's a lot of variation in the ribs on the bottom of the bed, the bottom edge of the template, sometimes it needs to be lined up with the bottom surface of the bed, and sometimes it needs to be lined up with the top of the ridge, depending where the BedXTender sits on that particular truck. So what we want to do at this point is, once we've put on our template, is we want to just double check the position for this particular truck. We're going to take our BedXTender assembly, and remember it's still kind of loose. We haven't totally fit it, but we're going to go ahead and just check to see how everything lines up. So we're just going to kind of hold it in position and make sure the center of the pivot feature here lines up with the center of where the bracket's going to be. And just kind of take a look and make sure that everything looks good. And then we want to double check the position when the BedXTender is flipped in. And is make sure that the tailgate's going to close and that there's plenty of clearance. And we're going to punch the holes and then drill them. Now we're going to remove our template and use our 9/64 drill bit and drill our holes for the bracket. Now we're going to install our quick mount bracket with the 3 Phillips sheet metal screws that comes in your hardware kit. Now that we've installed one of the quick mounts, we're going to use our template, go to the other side, match the position. Remember, if you had to make any little height adjustments or position adjustments, make sure you do the same thing on the other side. Now that we have our brackets mounted onto the truck, we're going to do our final adjustment of the width of the BedXTender. So go ahead and take the bed extender assembly here and pop it into one side and then just see how it fits. As you can see on this one, it's a little bit wide. So we're going to take it out here, and this is where our tape marks come into play. We want the gap to be the same on all the tubes where it comes up close to the bumper uprights. So what you want to do is just carefully kind of slip a little bit more tube into the sides, but just make sure you keep an even gap on both sides. Okay, now that we've made a small adjustment to the width, we're going to double check the sizing again. And as we can see now, it slips right in. And now you're going to tighten all your screws on your bumper uprights. In some of the trucks, and notably in this case on the Toyota Tacoma, it takes a different barrel assembly for the quick latch. So you want to take a T20 Torx driver and remove the existing barrel assembly. And then you're going to want to take the barrel assembly that came with your kit and install that onto the latch. One of the last things you want to do is adjust your strap length. We're going to show you the proper use. Line up your pivots, go to a 45-degree angle, and you can feel the bed extender pop into place. Lower it down onto the bed. Clip in your strap latches. Now to release your bed extender, go ahead and grab the latch underneath the tailgate. Pull the lever and that releases your strap latches. Make sure those are clear. Go ahead and rotate it in and close your tailgate.